I want us to discuss why the Nissan CVT failed faster than other CVTs. Recently, Nissan had some issues with the finances and it was almost closing. What is up, guys? Welcome back to Petrolets, and today we have something very interesting. Today I want us to talk about the CVT transmission, and I want us to know how it actually works, the do's and don'ts when it comes to working with the CVT transmission, and the preventive measures that you're supposed to take. Now, what is a CVT transmission? CVT transmission is basically an automatic transmission, but the difference comes in that in CVT transmission, it has a seamless range of gear ratios, which actually allow the engine to operate at its most efficient speed for a given driving condition. Now, can we just roll down and see how the CVT transmission works? Okay, CVT transmission has various components. That is, it has two pulleys, that is the drive pulley and the driven pulley. It has the variable diameters, it has the motorized actuators, and the computer, that is the TSU. Then we have different types of CVT transmission. We have the belt driven CVT, that is what I've actually explained. We have the toroidal CVT. Now, this is mostly found in Nissan vehicles, and I'm going to tell you something about these. But with the toroidal CVTs, it actually doesn't use the belts. It uses what you call discs and rollers. And we have the hydrostatic CVT. That is basically that is self-explanatory. CVT transmission, it has very good benefits as compared to other transmissions. Now, let's start with discussing some of the benefits of the CVT transmission. The CVT transmissions, actually, number one, it actually gives you the smooth driving experience. We said that it has an infinite number of gears. So with that, you're able to the TCU, that is the transmission control unit, is able to identify the speed at which you're moving at and adjust the gear effectively. So it means that you won't have a jerky move when you're actually driving a CVT positioned vehicle. And with CVT transmission, you also get a better fuel economy. How do we achieve better fuel economy in CVT? The engine doesn't strain to actually change the gears. You see, in unlike automatic and manual transmission cars, the normal automatic, it reaches a point where the car starts to become sluggish, and when the car starts to become sluggish, it therefore means that you're actually consuming a lot of fuel. So with CVT transmission, the TCU is able to control basically everything for you. So when you're in a uphill or something that is quite slopey and you're moving upwards, the CVT actually will be able to identify that it should be giving you a lower gear to actually give you more power and torque to surpass what you actually drive through the surface that you are in with a lot of ease. And then with the CVT transmission, we also get a lot of performance. Better performance, that is improved performance. You see, how do we put this? CVT transmission, it actually gives you an improved performance since you don't have to continue looking. The vehicle doesn't have to strain checking the gear that you should be moving at. So it adjusts to the actual environment or the actual position or the actual landscape that you are in. So it helps you move with a lot of ease and efficiency. Now, with everything that has its benefits, has its drawbacks as well. Sorry for that anyway. One of the drawbacks of the CVT transmission is actually the overheating issue. Remember, this gear doesn't have to wait, like the gear has to work in a way that it doesn't have to become sluggish at any given moment, because it has to transition and know at what speed you're moving at and where to adjust and where not to adjust. So with that, it means that it works seamlessly. It works with no stops. Therefore means that it's going to overheat. And when it overheats, you remember what it causes to your gearbox. When it overheats, you remember that it causes the transmission fluid to actually become it actually becomes less effective. And when the transmission fluid becomes less effective, you know what happens, man. Then when another drawback of a CVT gearbox is that it actually very costly to repair. Actually, in the whole country, to be honest, there is no CVT expert. Siatiko buyer, but CVT, the best you can do is just replace. You cannot fix a CVT transmission unless you're from Jatco or something. Then okay, another drawback of a CVT transmission is that when it starts to become sluggish, it actually limits the power that you're actually supposed to get. Maybe you're moving in an uptrend, then the power that is supposed to be provided is actually lower than the one that you should be actually having. So it means that you're going to struggle to gain that momentum. Now, there are various signs that when you see that in your vehicle, you should be able to identify that there's something wrong with your transmission. And in this case, you're talking about the CVT transmission. What are some of the signs that if you get, you're actually supposed to know that you're actually straining your CVT transmission? Number one, we have the strange noise, whining or grinding. Since it has seamless number of gears that is driven by pulley, when you find that there's a given noise that comes from there, they should be able to identify that there's something actually wrong with your CVT transmission. Another one is delayed acceleration. You're trying to press the throttle, but the power that you're supposed to get with the amount of power that you actually use to press the throttle is not actually they doesn't match. That will therefore means that there must be something wrong with the CVT transmission. We also have the jerking while operation. You feel like your car is becoming so jerky, and as if you can't balance. You see, no. How do I put this into place? For instance, in a manual vehicle, when you can't actually balance the amount of gas and when to leave the clutch, you will find the car starts to become so jerky. That is actually what happens in the CVT transmission when there is a problem with it. Then one of the things that you not also ignore when in the dashboard umeonyeshwa light that there is a problem with the CVT transmission, but then you don't want to change. Yeah. Now, these are signs that a CVT transmission is failing or there's a problem with the CVT transmission. What are some of the preventive measures that we should be taking to ensure that the vehicle works effectively? Number one, we know it should be, unlike other gearboxes, CVT transmission should be regularly maintained. There are actually recommended fluids, that is the NS2 and NS3. You should be able to actually know which is the best for your car, because actually the viscosity of this oil are actually different. So we have the Toyota CVT oil and the Nissan CVT oil. They are totally different. Maybe the viscosity rating of the Toyota one, the one of the Toyota, maybe Toyota RAV4 or Toyota Passo, is that maybe actually different from the one for the Nissan Note. So be able to know the difference between NS3 and NS2 transmission fluid. Which one is better for your car, and when should you change these fluids? Number two, avoid overloading the vehicle. When you overload the vehicle, it therefore means that the pulley cannot function in a very amicable manner. Therefore means that you're going to strain your gearbox, and these are some of the things that are going to cause damage to your car. Now this is somewhere that I didn't want to talk to, but then I have to. We have sudden starts, sudden stop and starts. You see, a CVT transmission is made in a way that when you start your journey, the amount of starts and stops should be very limited. But when it comes to, for instance, the highways that we have in Kenya, we have traffic jams, which will cause you to suddenly start your vehicle and stop it. This therefore means that you won't be giving the CVT transmission the optimal environment to work with. Henceforth, it will start to break down. So if you have a CVT car, this is my honest advice. Try to avoid traffic jams as much as possible. Even if it means that you're going to follow along a road which will therefore means you're going to consume a lot of fuel, try to avoid traffic jam as much as possible. Now, we know that CVT transmissions tend to eat as compared to other vehicles. What are some of the things that we should be putting into place to ensure that it works and gives us the value for our money? We should be installing what is called aftermarket coolers. The aftermarket coolers actually ensures that your vehicles has that proper cooling system that ensures that it moves and work effectively. And in case you feel like there could be any problem with your CVT, just go to your mechanic or your car professionals to check it out. Now, I know for Nissan owners, don't hate me on this, but I'm just gonna be very honest with you. I want us to discuss why the Nissan CVT failed faster than other CVTs. Before I start, recently Nissan had some issues with the finances and it was almost closing, so they had to partner with the Honda and Mitsubishi they had to merge to become one. Before that, there are vehicles that Nissan actually made with the CVT transmission. Know that the CVT transmissions za Nissan zinatengenezwa na Jatco. So Nissan was running out of funds, and when he was running out of funds, they wanted to cut on costs, and cutting on cost therefore meant that the materials that were actually needed to actually make the CVT transmission were not the genuine ones, or were not coming up to the best quality because they were trying to cut on costs. For instance, the pulleys that were used to make the CVT transmission of the Nissan Rogue, the Nissan T32, that is the X-Trail, most of them fail because the pulley and some other components are not meant to handle that torque. You understand me? Yeah. That is the design limitations of the CVT. Why Nissan CVT transmission fails. Number 2, it has what is called inadequate cooling system. We know that most of the Nissan CVT transmission actually have cooling system issues, and the solution has always been you install what is called aftermarket coolers. That is actually one of the solutions that you can actually do. You can actually put into place to ensure you keep your CVT transmission running for a while. Number 3, we have the transmission fluid issues. When the vehicle comes out of the company, there should be a given information about the type of fluid that you should be giving your car. Maybe sometimes you find that they confused the NS2, which is supposed to be used in the likes of Nissan Note, to be used in the vehicle that are supposed to be used in an NS3, that is the likes of X-Trail, T32, Nissan Rogue, Nissan Leaf. Yeah, so there was a little bit of confusion since funds are running out. You have to understand that as well. I think with that we can call it to an end. Thank you so much for tuning in up to this point. We are very grateful to have you in our channel. May God bless you. If you haven't subscribed, consider doing so. And I also want to tell you, the best and the safest way to secure your car or to source a car locally or from international market is by using Petrolite. These are people you can trust. These are people who have the knowledge about cars, and these are people who are very honest with you. We also offer after purchase inspection or pre-purchase inspection we do a number of things. Anything concerning cars, consider calling on Petrolite. If you need any vehicle, you can call the number down below. These professionals will help you get a vehicle. You either contact me or Ian. One of us will get your issues solved. Thank you so much.